It is March 30th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Wreck Site in the St.simons Sound. Well, again, we see no cutting. There still looks like trying to work a chain back into the groove on the Golden Ray that was previously cut with the first attempt to separate Section 7. We could see the chains attached. Again, this is the west side or inshore side of the ship, the VB 10,000, and we can see the chains attached to the block. Now the block here is pulled over. This is offshore block, and it's pulled over to the VB 10,000. Still see the chain attached to it. And here's a shot where we can see the other three chains kind of hanging, waiting for their turn to get used. But we did notice today that the blocks had moved when we left, and we got some pictures of that coming up. So they're working them back and forth, and hopefully they'll get this thing worked back in. Now, one thing we will say is going back to the poll we had about when will cutting resume on the Golden Ray on this Section 7, and the majority of folks thought it would be between 7 and 14 days. Well, we're at 14 days. It's been 14 days since that section number 2 was set on the Julie B. barge and towed into the Port of Brunswick. So we've kind of reached that point, and we've yet to see the chain engaged angrily into that hull material of the Golden Ray. So hopefully that'll change up pretty quick. We did see some activity going on with the monitor boats, those tugs. They were spraying inside the barrier today, guess knocking some sheen down. The environmental boats were out, and we saw them actively deploying boom material, absorbent material behind the boats. They were towing this around, so of course wanted to go check that out. And we got over and not in their way, of course, but back out of the way, and we found sheening and oil on the water. This has been a common occurrence now for a while out here at the site as the Golden Ray continues to weep oil into the St.simons Sound. The only good thing about this operation today was this was an outgoing tide, and I hate to say that, the best scenario isn't for it to be in the ocean, but it's out of the sound, and the estuary there is much more sensitive, and it's good to see that it's kind of moving off. Hopefully we can get this thing out of here. Now, we did find a piece of debris today floating, and we turned this over, and just covered in that thick, oily, nasty material. It gets all over your hands when you pick this stuff up. But we found what appears to be a filler top off of an automobile, maybe a power steering reservoir or something like that. But found this, and we turned this over. Now over towards the bow section of the ship, the car loading operation. Those guys have filled up 2 barges, and we heard from radio traffic that between the 2 barges they have 127 cars on these 2 barges, and there's a little bit of a procedure to get them out because they are behind the environmental barrier, but they'll get those out and head over to Brunswick. And also today we saw them taking water totes over to the VB. So this is how the VB 10,000 gets its fresh water supply. It's through these water totes. They were loading this stuff up and getting it over to the VB. And here, shots of the chain as we were leaving. The offshore side you could see was really pulled up high. So they're working this chain, and it looks like they're trying to get it worked underneath there, but still yet to see them start actively cutting. Now, what a special sight today we saw. Some blue herons, and these guys are up there nesting. This is right across from the Epworth Center where the teams that are staying on the rig are housed, and this is right across the river. It's kind of a neat shot to see these a few nests up in the trees, And then right adjacent to the center there, we found a nesting osprey. And we got a picture of this and just wanted to share that with you. Well, hey, that's about it for the report today. We ask you to click on that subscribe button, send us some comments, and most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.